What's up again, guys? Yeah, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Dovahkiin, and welcome to the first episode of Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access. And before we begin, I'm gonna show you the game's intro. And be sure to hit on the subscribe button for more great videos. Okay, for those of you who are new to this game, I'm gonna give you a short background. Baldur's Gate 3 is set in the Forgotten Realms, the world of Dungeons and Dragons. That said, of course the mechanics of this game is based on the 5th edition of D&D. And if you want to learn the rules or refresh on it, the link to the downloadable PDF is in the description. The first and second game came out on PC during my late teen years, way back 1998 and 2000 respectively. And I'm proud to have played those games back then because besides being unforgettable gaming experiences, they established the early foundations of my gaming life. Anyway, I perfectly remember that Baldur's Gate 1 came with 5 discs, and at that time, that was quite unprecedented. A testament of how epic this game series was gonna be. Then, later on, Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn proved that by becoming the GOAT, the greatest PC RPG of all time. By the way, I played Neverwinter Nights as well, which is also a D&D game but an entirely separate series. Anyhow, these 3 games were developed by BioWare. For Baldur's Gate 3, however, Wizards of the Coast, the owners of D&D, offered the intellectual property to Larian Studios because they were impressed with the epicness of their Divinity Original Sin series, which, along with BG2, are among the best PC RPGs ever. And I played both of these games as well. In fact, not long ago, I finished a 75-episode series on Divinity Original Sin 2. And if you want to check it out, the link is in the description. To remind you, this is just early access, which launched on Steam just this October 6. And Larian said that this game will linger in early access for at least a year. So maybe the full release will hopefully be on the last quarter of 2021. That's a long wait. So even if early access just covers a portion of the full game, I'd rather have a taste of it now. As per system requirements, sadly I can't play this game on my desktop because it's still running on Windows 7. I know, right? Fortunately, however, I also have a Windows 10 gaming laptop with the following specs. So, let the fun begin.
Who are you?
Alright, like in Divinity Original Sin 2, you can also play as an origin character. These guys are pre-made, having their own personalities and backgrounds, and of course their own stories in the game. They will be your companions in your adventure as well. However, in this very early version of Early Access, you can't play as an origin character yet. Their playability will be enabled later, maybe in a few weeks or months. But don't worry, because they still exist as selectable companions. And since their descriptions are not yet shown here as well, I'm gonna present them to you instead. Astarion is a rogue who prowled the nights as a vampire spawn for centuries, serving a sadistic master until a mind flayer parasite freed him from his bonds. Now that he can walk in daylight, the game is on, for only his old master stands in the way of him becoming the greatest vampire the world has ever known. Lae'zel is a fighter, a ferocious Githyanki warrior, mighty even by the standards of her mind flayer hunting kind. Faced with transforming into the very monster she's sworn to destroy, Lae'zel must prove herself worthy of rejoining her people, if they don't execute her first. Gale is a wizard prodigy, whose love for a goddess made him attempt a dreaded feat no mortal should. Blighted by the forbidden magic of ancient Netheril, Gale strives to undo the corruption that is overtaking him, and win back his goddess's favor, before he becomes a destroyer of worlds. Shadowheart is a loyal cleric of Shar. She is the sole survivor of a holy mission undertaken on the Mistress of the Night's behest. She alone must deliver a relic of immense power to her coven in Baldur's Gate, while threatened by a strange new magic that is burgeoning from within. Will is a warlock. Noble by birth, he made his name as the heroic Blade of Frontiers. But to become a living legend, he struck a bargain with a devil, a bargain from which he longs to break free before it consumes his soul for good. Okay, before showing you the available races and sub-races, classes and subclasses for custom characters here in Early Access, let's touch on backgrounds. Anyway, just pause the video if you need more time to see the details. We have Acolyte, Charlatan, Criminal, Entertainer, Folk Hero, Guild Artisan, Noble, Hermit, Outlander, Sage, Sailor, Soldier, and Urchin. Alright, now on races and sub-races. On the Elves, we have two sub-races. High Elves are the heirs of the mystical Feywild. They value magic in all its forms, and even those who do not study spellcraft can manipulate the weave. Wood Elves spend their reclusive lives in Faerun's forests. Decades of training in archery and camouflage are enhanced by an otherworldly swiftness. On the Tieflings, we have three sub-races. Asmodeus Tieflings are bound to Nessus, the deepest layer of the Hells. They inherit the ability to wield fire and darkness from the Archdevil Asmodeus' infernal bloodline. Mephistopheles tieflings are descended from the archdevil Mephistopheles. They are gifted with a particular affinity for arcane magic. Zariel tieflings are from Zariel's bloodline. They are empowered with martial strength and can channel searing flame to punish their enemies. The Drow are the result of an ancient schism between the elven deities Corellan Larethian and Lolth. The latter's treachery drove the Drow into the Underdark, where they splintered into warring factions. So there are two sub-races. Lolth's sworn Drow were raised by her cult in the city of Menzoberranzan. These Drow extol the virtues of their corrupt and merciless goddess. Lolth marks her followers with bright red eyes, so the Underdark will learn to fear Drow on sight. Seldarin Drow can be found seeking allies from all over Faerun, aiming to settle their conflict with Lolth and each other by any means necessary. Humans are the most common face to see in Faerun. They are known for their tenacity, creativity, and endless capacity for growth. They live fully in the present, making them well suited to the adventuring life, but also plan for the future, striving to leave a lasting legacy. The Githyanki are peerless warriors from the astral plane, known for their legendary silver blades and red dragon mounts. They seek the total destruction of Mind Flayers, whose ancient empire enslaved the Githyanki for millennia. On the dwarves, we have two sub-races. Gold dwarves are known for their confidence and keen intuition. The culture of their deep kingdom values family, ritual, and fine craftsmanship. Shield dwarves survived a long fall from grace, surrendering many of their ancient kingdoms in wars with goblins and orcs. These losses have led to a cynical mindset, yet shield dwarves will endure anything to restore their ancestral homelands. As per half-elves, there are three sub-races. High half-elves. A touch of the Feywild remains in half-elves with this bloodline, and even those untrained in magic possess a hint of wild power. Wood half-elves, like their wood elf parents, have a quickened stride and eye for stealth, yet many break away from isolation in Faerun's forests to explore the rest of the realms. Drow half-elves, or the half-drow, result from liaisons between Seldarin Drow and Surfacers. While half-drow inherit a few magical gifts, they aren't usually raised in the Underdark. As per halflings, there are two sub-races. Lightfoot halflings are stealthy but social, traveling all over Faerun to make names for themselves. Strongheart halflings. Legends say dwarven blood gave these stronghearts their hardiness. Resistant to poison and wellsprings of endurance, these halflings easily hold their own. Next, we move on to classes and subclasses. First is the cleric, who by the way must select a deity to worship, and currently there are 20 deities you can choose from. Okay, now on the life domain subclass. This is an aspect of many good deities, offering spells that protect and restore the mind, body, and soul. The light domain is offered by deities of justice, majesty, and primordial flame, providing spells that dispel darkness and harm the undead. The trickery domain is shared by wicked, chaotic, and mischievous deities alike. Those who channel trickery specialize in deception and illusion magic. Next is the Fighter, whose subclass choice happens at level 3, and there are two subclasses. A Battle Master is a paragon of tactical superiority, combining combat maneuvers and experience in the field to dominate every fight. And the Eldritch Knight, who studies magic to supplement his weaponry, allowing him to overcome resistance from the toughest foes. Now on the Ranger, who also gets to pick a subclass at level 3. A Beastmaster binds himself to an animal companion, sharing an intelligent bond that flourishes in and out of combat. Hunters, on the other hand, seek the most dangerous prey in Faerun, from ancient dragons to massive hordes of undead, and excel at slaying them all. Similar with the previous classes, a Rogue's subclass choice happens at level 3. Arcane Tricksters are rogues with a clever touch of magic, using illusions and enchantments to keep their opponents on the back foot. Alternatively, thieves use their skills in stealth and larceny to acquire whatever they wish, whether from a third-story window or the depths of a long-forgotten ruins. Next is the Warlock, whose first subclass is the Fiend. Warlocks in service to fiends work towards corrupting and destructive ends, intentionally or otherwise, and receive hellish blessings in turn. The Great Old One. Warlocks bound to eldritch beings in the far realms work towards inscrutable goals, gaining strange powers over entropy and the mind. Lastly, the Wizard, who, unlike previous classes, gets to pick a subclass or school earlier, at level 2 to be exact. Evocation spells focus elemental energy into powerful attacks and enchantments. Those who specialize in this school are known as Evokers. Abjuration spells, on the other hand, summon wards, banish enemies, and nullify magic, suitable for those who wish to defend themselves and others. Okay, now on skills and abilities. Each skill falls within an ability. Whenever you make an ability check that also uses a skill, your rolls will gain your proficiency bonus if you have that skill. By the way, your proficiency bonus normally depends on your level. Now let's say you are attempting to climb a dangerous cliff, and the game might require a strength athletics check for that task. If you have the athletics skill, your proficiency bonus will be added to the strength check. If you lack that skill, however, you'll just end up with a strength check. And this is the reason why I showcased the backgrounds earlier, because your choice there determines your skills. The common term for this in gaming is attributes. For D&D, however, we call them abilities. And this tab is where you can allocate your points. Anyhow, your primary ability, which depends on your class, is marked with an asterisk, or a star for that matter. And as advised, that is where you put most of your points. Alright. My custom character back in Divinity Original Sin 2 was a human wizard built as an elementalist, and I'm thinking of reprising that role here, but with a different race, a high elf to be exact. However, if the sorcerer class will be available in the full release, I'm gonna go for a high half-elf sorcerer, because if I remember correctly, in BG2, sorcerers are capable of making their spells more powerful. Now, let's create my high elf wizard, Dovahkiin. Anyway, I'll try to expedite this whole process as best as I can. For his background, I'm gonna go for Guild Artisan, cause maybe like in DOS 2, Persuasion is a must-have. As per cantrips, I'll pick Chill Touch, Firebolt, Mage Hand, and Ray of Frost. For spells, I'm gonna go for Fog Cloud, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Sleep, Thunder Wave, and Witch Bolt. On skills and abilities, I'm satisfied with those, so let's move on.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Now on appearance, which is the tedious part, but I had this figured out already. By the way, what I don't like about the elves is their lack of facial hair, cause I have some sort of modest goatee. Anyhow, for hairstyle, I'm gonna go for bald. Though I'm not cause it's actually a buzz cut, but that's the closest thing here.
Tell me, who do you dream of at night?
A tidy slot, but no rune.
The stone's less worn here. Recently uncovered.
Well, I simply picked the same race. And just to be safe, because I know that my wife will be watching this, I'll use her as inspiration. Alright, let's venture forth.
still be stuck inside if we hadn't been attacked.
Okay, so the Mind Flayer ship, a Spelljammer, specifically a Nautiloid, descended and I think crash landed into Avernus, the first or uppermost layer of the Nine Hells. And this is a brilliant way of starting an RPG, right? Bring him straight to hell.
Dead. Good. I feel better. Devilkin, am I in the Hells?
You've come to save us from this place. From this place you'll free us.
The exposed brain quivers in expectation.
Please. Before they return! They return. A newborn. Born new from this husk.
You realize you're talking to an intellect devourer, a minion of the Mind Flayers who abducted you.
Remove us from this body. From this case. Free us. Please.
The brain lifts from the skull, but you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange creature, making it more subservient should it prove a threat. The creature seems unaware of your interference. It relaxes in your hands.
We are free. Our freedom is ours, friend.
The creature pauses, listening. Something behind your eyes seizes in recognition.
We must go to the helm. At the helm, we are needed. Us. We are us. To the helm we go. We are going to the helm.
Alright, we got ourselves a pet brain, which could be handy as we escape from hell, which I think is our priority at the moment. By the way, being a high elf with significant dex really helped us in that situation. Anyhow, let's wrap it up, so stay tuned in for more episodes. And that is all there is for now. Thanks for watching. Also check out other videos from Sabbath Band Philippines and don't forget to subscribe. See you on my next vid. Peace out, y'all.